Catus Maximus here, this time with a little review of the Amazon Basics 5-watt Bluetooth speaker. I don't know if they really have a model number on this. I guess this is the older unit. I suppose that they've upgraded or come out with a water resistant version. Anyway, found this, and you know, Amazon is criticized a lot for their Basics because they seem to just basically compete with their own sellers with their Basics brands. But isn't anybody who's making a house brand doing the same thing? I mean, to be honest, you know, the grocery stores and etc., when you come out with the house brands, because it isn't really to give a better deal to your shoppers. It's because you get a better margin, because now you're having products either custom branded or custom manufactured for you. So you get to make a little bit more overhead rather than paying another company for their brand and then they're having them manufactured. That being said, it's not a bad Bluetooth speaker. We have like a couple 3-inch drivers and then a really big passive radiator, and we'll take a look inside. As far as features, it actually does work. It goes to sleep, but you can just press this little button here and it wakes up and connects. And it does do speakerphone, and it does it is a more modern Bluetooth version, so it'll synchronize and control the volume. You can do track advance. Let's give it a listen here. Some copyright-free music. What do we got? Actually, other than that, there's not a lot else to say. I was having a hard time. I suspect Amazon was probably selling this for around 30 bucks. I was working on pulling off the grill. They are metal grills, at least. They're not held on super well. They just have a little bit of foam, and they actually pop off pretty easily, so it's a little bit concerning. This back one is a little bit more stiff. I haven't been able to actually pop this one off yet. Trying though. It was kind of surprising how easy the front was. And that also may be because this is the side that has the screws. I'm going to see about getting inside it. This is a little microphone hole. Let's see how far these drivers actually flex. So they flex a little bit. They could actually go a little bit further. It appears that they have butyl rubber surrounds. Not a lot else to really say about this unit. I suppose I'll pull out these 4 outer screws and see if we can't get a look inside. A little on and off switch, and micro USB and an aux input. Anyway, let's take a look inside here, see if we can't. Oh, always annoying. They're number 2 Phillips, but these little holes are just a bit too small for a normal number 2 Phillips screwdriver. Always annoying when manufacturers do that. Got this open, so surprisingly enough, you know, it seems to be reasonably well built. They got a bunch of foam around the ribbon cables, trying to prevent rattles since they are, like here, rubbing right against this passive radiator. They seem like decent little drivers. They have pretty thick little cables on them. Pretty deep baskets on these. Let me get a better light. There we go. They have pretty deep baskets. They have little holes and the little voice coil surround, so I wonder if that's to ventilate them to keep them from overheating. I also suspect that these may be getting underdriven just a little bit, because those seem like pretty big wires considering the amount of power that's putting out. But they are chinsing you. It has an extremely small lithium-ion battery. I suspect this thing at full volume would probably only last like an hour or so, maybe a little bit more. At least you can pull it apart relatively easy and replace it. But I think that's just a little bit chintzy. Amazon should have put a bigger battery into this thing. Other than that, there really isn't a whole lot else to say. I see that they have the ribbon cable kind of caught up under there. It's Amazon's basic Bluetooth speaker. They do have a seal around the edge. The screws aren't particularly large, so I suspect if this thing drops, it's gonna break. Anyway, just ran into this at a junk store, and always have been curious about a lot of Amazon Basics electronic stuff and how it's built. And this one seems to have a halfway decent drivers and amplifier, just a really small battery. And the treble isn't particularly great because better quality Bluetooth speakers will use like the hard aluminum drivers just because they give a little bit better treble. Anyway, that's all I really got to say about that. I really appreciate everybody who's been watching and subscribing. And if you haven't subscribed, please do. Until next time, Catus Maximus out.